Is the 5060 8GB worth it if you are on an AIM-4 platform and you only have something like a Ryzen 5500? Well, I'm going to answer that question for you today and just go over a few games that I've tested just to give you some average performance that you could expect. Because I know a lot of the people, there's about 60% of gamers are still on 1080p. So realistically, most gamers are only looking at this to be the highest level of card that they actually would purchase. So I really wanted to make a video that's hopefully capturing majority of the player base here with the 5060. And I really think that you would really only look at this card if you're on like a, say like a 10,000 series or maybe a 2000 series graphics card, or if you're coming over from AMD, like an RX 580, 590, or maybe like a 5500 or something like that. So if you're new here, I go by NickyT. I love to make content based off tech, gaming, and PC builds. So if that interests you while you're watching the video, definitely consider subscribing. I love reading all the comments and engaging with people as they make comments. So I think it's really cool. One of the best parts about YouTube is engaging with people. So definitely drop me a comment how you're feeling down below. Drop a like on the video as you watch it if you enjoyed it, and let's just jump right into it. Okay, so if you're new here, I'm gonna go over just really quickly what's inside this PC build. I'll actually link the PC build right here, so you can check that out if you actually want to see the PC build. So there's a slight difference in the build. I used the 3060, and recently I swapped it out for the 5060 just to do some of the testing. So I have a 5500, a Ryzen 5500, and I have a 5060 with 650 watt power supply, 32 gigabytes of RAM, CL14. And I actually use this really awesome Musetex K2 case, so definitely check that out if you're interested in it. Today we're gonna play a few games, and I'm just gonna basically give the averages as we play them. So just quick looks at them. Really, you can just hop in, kind of see what the performance is. It's not gonna change too much because this case has really good airflow. Temperatures really shouldn't affect us that much, and I have my CPU on a 360 AIO for a Ryzen 5500, which is like kind of overkill. The first game that we're gonna boot up is CyberPunk because you have to. It's basically the modern crisis, and if you don't test this game, then you didn't do a PC gaming review. So all tests today will be done at 1080p, so take that with a grain of salt. Because really, if you're getting a 5060, especially the 8GB version, you really should not be looking at anything higher than 1080p, but I guess I'll leave that decision up to you. All right, so right now starting off, looks like we are starting off strong inside of the shop. But let's go outside and see how well it holds up. Okay, so let's adjust the settings here to make sure we're on the highest graphics. So ultra preset, and let's just see how it does without frame gen. No frame gen, we'll do DLSS and we'll put it to quality. So right now it looks like we're about 60, 70 FPS. Let's run through here though, dip down into the 50s. Frame time is about, I don't know, anywhere from 8 to 15, 22 milliseconds when you run. We'll drop to 45 right here. You can definitely feel it. It's a little blurry. A little slow feeling. I mean, overall, playing on Ultra, you probably wouldn't play this on Ultra with a 5060 and a Ryzen 5500. But more power to you if you want. So let's do quality. We'll do DLSS frame gen times 4. So with frame gen times 4 on, we're getting over 200 FPS. And to be honest, it doesn't feel that bad, surprisingly. Usually, if you're playing with frame gen, if you play with a mouse and keyboard, you feel frame gen, like frame latency, a lot more with a mouse than you do with like using a controller. So keep that in mind. Overall though, not bad. I mean, frame gen, you can play this all day with frame gen. So now we're gonna try out some Marvel Rivals. Actually been really enjoying playing Marvel Rivals. I never really got into like Overwatch or anything like that, but this game has kind of brought me over to that style of game, and it's actually been really fun. So let's see how this performs. Isn't it amazing how fast you find quick matches on Marvel Rivals? All right, so we're going to play Punisher and see how this goes. Okay, so we're gonna play on.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Let's play on the Ultra preset and just see how it goes.
We practically match. This is hot.
So at the Ultra preset, I mean, 100 FPS right here before we engage with anybody.
Oh.
Just getting swarmed in this lobby. And I mean, the lowest we got is probably like 80 FPS. Let's go to low settings now. Alright, so low settings in this area, we're probably up about 60-70 FPS than where we were at. I mean, overall though, it's pretty much maintaining 100 FPS. So that was on DLSS performance. Now let's try 4 times frame gen. See if we can just max out FPS. So we are getting 400 FPS right now, and it actually feels super responsive. This is a 240 Hz monitor, so it definitely comes into play here. Honestly, easily. This is pretty awesome. You could easily play this. The game we're going to look at today is Oblivion Remastered. I think it's going to be the hardest test for the 5060, especially at 8 GB of VRAM, so let's see how well it does. So I don't know if this is a common issue or not with a 5500 and a 5060. I'm guessing that the 5500 is just really struggling with Oblivion, but with the 3060, it didn't seem like it had any issues, so I'm not really sure. But it was like really laggy and it takes a long time to load, and the processor is pretty much maxed out right now. 100% maxed out on the CPU, only around 5 FPS. It's not really using the GPU, and I think it froze. All right, well, it finally loaded in, so maybe it's just a really difficult game for the 5500 to load, and it took forever. It probably took like 5 minutes. So we'll see. But right now, it looks like the stats are pretty good. So it looks like we're hovering around 90 FPS up here, and I'm at the Blades Temple right now.
Sir.
Do get some stutters there, but I mean 100 FPS right now. You can definitely see it drops right here when I'm looking at the temple. Check here. So everything's on high, ray tracing's off, which is what you want, and then it's on FSR mode. Let's switch it to DLSS, and we'll do frame gen automatic. Let's see what happens, and we'll turn it on quality. Okay, so that's insanely more smooth. It doesn't stutter when you're moving it. It actually feels really smooth, like buttery smooth now. So maybe that was the issue.
Sir.
So this is on high with frame gen, so you're looking at, when you look off into the distance, 130. I mean, not bad. It's pretty much maxing out your VRAM though. Actually, I want to see what it's like if you were to play on medium. I feel like medium looks really good on this game. And let's leave everything else. DLSS, quality, frame gen, automatic. I feel like this is a much more realistic setting for this. Jeez, okay, something is off here. It's really, really bad. Everything's on medium, hardware off, DLSS. Try turning that off and then turning it back on. Maybe unbalanced. See, now it's like stuttering really, really bad. Frame time is all over the place with those spikes. Interesting. Let's go to high. Again, it's just kind of falling on its face right now. Let's just do low and see what happens. So something happened where it's causing it to just tank in performance. 60, 70 FPS. When I adjusted that setting, it just kind of went crazy. I'm gonna just reset everything and just see what happens. Interesting. I don't know what happened because now I'm only sitting around the 30s in the frame time and it is terrible, like in the 40s, 50s. Maybe it's full screen?
Good morning,
Having some
sir.
weird full screen optimization. Maybe let's try auto detect. Okay, so interesting. When I did auto detect and then I switched it to FSR, it seemed to get rid of it. What if we go back to DLSS and we keep frame gen off? Okay, better. Now what if we turn on frame gen? Okay, so I turned on frame gen. It's on low, but I mean, we are getting 130 FPS. I'm not really sure what happened there. That was kind of crazy. Let's do medium. See, it looks like it fixed it. So I'm not really sure what's going on with this. I've had a lot of trouble with this title, so if you have any idea on what's going on with this, definitely drop it down below, and if you have a fix for it, because this has been driving me crazy, and I don't want to, it's just been driving me crazy when I've been testing this. All right, so that's going to conclude today's video, so I hope you enjoyed it. It was definitely fun testing it, and I ran into some weird scenarios, so hopefully you watched it all the way through. Overall, I think if you're thinking about getting a 5060 and you are coming from a much older generation, so I'm talking like GTX 1060, you know, 10,000 series or RX 590 or something like that, that's where I think this really makes the most sense to purchase, and why you would actually only, like, why you would actually consider getting the 8GB version of a 5060. I think in 2025 it makes more sense to get a card with more than 8GB of VRAM, and it definitely should cost less than $300. I would say this card shouldn't cost any more than $280. So even with all the technology, 8GB of VRAM is just not enough in 2025. And you saw it even on Oblivion 1080p, and it was pretty much maxing out the VRAM. Overall though, if you have a Ryzen 5500, the Ryzen 5500 is going to actually bottleneck your 5060, which I kind of figured, but keep that in mind. If that's all you have, you can get by. You can easily still play and put all your money towards your GPU, which is always going to be a better option. Processors nowadays are so capable that you can always scale back a tier or two on a processor and make it up in a GPU. So definitely always try to put like 60-70% of your build money into the GPU. It's going to pay off a lot more in the long run. Processors too are a lot cheaper than GPUs, so you can always get into a cheap CPU and then upgrade later. All right, so that's going to conclude the video for today. If you enjoyed the video at all, definitely consider dropping me a like. It helps me out a ton. Drop me a comment if you are using a 5060 or you're thinking about getting one, or a card that you decided to go with. Definitely check out the used market. There's some deals there. Check out maybe like a used 3070 or 3080 or something like that, or a, I don't know, 6700 XT, and that's going to be a much better option, I think, and save you some money. And then if you enjoyed the video, definitely drop me a sub. I post content like this every single day, whether it's in short form or long format, and I love making PC related content. It's something I've been passionate about ever since I was a kid, and I finally decided to do something about it. So those are the 3 ways that you can support me completely free as a creator. Right now I'm sponsoring everything on the channel, but with my own money, and it's quite expensive. I'm sure you know, if you guys try to buy PC parts, it's ridiculous. I'm committed to growing this channel and building a solid community, and that's really important to me. So thank you for taking the time to watch today's video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Till the next build video. See you guys.